Okay. Hit me with it.
I'm gonna hit you. This. Quack.
Welcome to the Little Duck Book Club with duck number 1,
Ren, and duck number 2.
Anna. And today we have a fun little exercise of reading comprehension planned for you. I think this happened a while ago. There was this trend of people collecting and reading 1-star reviews of books on Goodreads. And usually a bad review, in terms of a low-rated review, is usually almost always funnier than a good one.
Yeah.
Because a good hate read is just very satisfying.
A good hater is better than anything else.
Tooting your own horn there, right?
I was more thinking of hate reviews I've watched or read, but sure, yes, I am the best.
And what we prepared today is that each of us went through Goodreads and looked at 1-star reviews, and we're gonna try and guess the book from the 1-star review, and we're just gonna see how well we manage, because it's quite hard to not have a review completely spoil the book.
Yeah, it is hard to find a section that is funny, has enough information so you can guess at the book, and is not too long.
Yeah.
It is difficult. Also, because as I've said to you before, 1-star reviews are populated by the stupidest people alive, and so many of these reviews are bad reviews. Sometimes I'll look at a 1-star review of a book I don't even like, and I'll be like, you're too stupid to live. You didn't even understand this book. Like, I don't like it either, but you're hating it incorrectly. Why would you do this? And then I get mad.
So I think the ones that I picked, a lot of them are like by vibe. Like, I think if you get the vibe of the review, you'll be able to guess. And some of them I think are very on the nose. And I think a few you'll be like, Anna, what? Like, but it could work.
We'll see. I also have somewhere I'm like, I think this is too vague, but when I reveal it, it'll be funny. So, okay.
Maybe I start with the first one?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, this review is by Tilly. And Tilly wrote, "This book felt like the final season of Game of Thrones." That's it.
That is fucking savage. But now I'm like, what could this be? I think I'm thinking too much, because now at first I was like, okay, this sounds like it's probably some romantasy nonsense where like crazy shit goes down. Okay, you're nodding. I am on the right track.
I'm nodding.
Okay.
Right track.
Now I'm thinking about what is this fourth wing because it has dragons?
Actually, no, I didn't even think of that.
Fuck.
No, but the romantasy is the right, and you do know the book.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Is it the Bridge Kingdom?
No, think broader. Think
broader. Is this...
Think more, like, everything. Think final season.
I have no idea. Is this like a Sarah J. Maas creation? Is this Crescent City?
It's Flame and Shadow. I read the review and I was like, honestly, yeah. Like, it does feel this is... like the last season of Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah, that is honestly, yeah. I mean, it's... Fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
I didn't think about how the dragon thing could lead you astray. I apologize for that.
The dragons got me bamboozled.
Okay, you go.
I didn't write down the names of the people where I took stuff from reviews. In retrospect, I'm like, maybe I should have like respected them more.
I just did screenshots, so that's why I have the names.
Yeah, okay. No, I went like copy paste on my computer, so I am very sorry for the people whose funny reviews. I am like, I didn't mean to like steal your thunder. These are not my words. Okay. The first bit is just a 3-word review, which was Sweet Home Alabama.
Is this Mortal Instruments? Yes.
Yeah, it's City of Bones. I was like, this is too funny. This is too correct.
I was like, oh, I know this.
Yeah.
I was like, which
You
book?
were so excited. You were like...
I was like, which book has incest?
And the funny bit is...
Yeah.
This was on a review of City of Bones where it's like, well, technically, we find out later that it wasn't incest, but there's other incest later on, so it's not wrong about the series. So it's like, you shot your shot too early, but like you were not wrong.
Well, Jace also did, so...
No, but for, like, it's so funny. Looking at reviews of City of Bones, so many are just like, oh, how scandalous. I can't believe you made me ship this when they're siblings. And it's like, well, yeah.
It's like,
it's not, they're...
That was the point.
But also, I feel like I feel like this is just when you have read too many books, it's just like you read this and you're like, okay, they're obviously not siblings. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise it wouldn't have gotten published. Like, yeah. Right? I feel like if you read it as somebody who's read more than like 2 books, you're like, okay, but it wouldn't, like, just the meta knowledge of like, okay, they literally cannot be siblings because they're obviously endgame, and that wouldn't be published by a standard like big publisher if it were incest, right?
Again, even if it like was an endgame, it would not be published by a YA publisher.
Yeah, like I was just like, okay, like obviously yes, the twist is shocking, but if you read it and you like genuinely believe it, I worry for like your intelligence because I'm like, obviously this wouldn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
No,
it was very funny to see all the people who were like legitimately upset. I was just like, girl.
I remember when I read it, I wasn't like upset or anything. I was confused mostly because I was like, what? This is not the way we're going, right? So it's just like I was very
you were just like, this is just a trick, right? This can't be real.
I was like, where's the catch? This feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you were not wrong.
Okay. The next one I chose, it depends on how well you know Goodreads and the way like the sorting books works. But this is a review by Eugene. He said, and it was like, quote unquote, by anonymous. I wouldn't want to take credit for this either. So it's a book where the author is by anonymous.
I don't think I know.
You definitely know the book.
I think this is too vague. I think I'm just like, okay, I can't place this.
It's the Bible. The Bible is...
You definitely know this book.
Any version of the Bible is like, it has by anonymous as the author on Goodreads. Which I thought in itself was ridiculously funny.
I love that there are Bible versions on Goodreads.
You know what? I thought maybe there are extremely funny Bible reviews, like 1-star reviews on Goodreads, but they're so extensive and some of them are a little bit ridiculous and would have never been able to guess because it was like, oh, bad pacing. And it's like, oh, come on. Nearly every second book we read.
Yeah, no, everything gets this.
Yeah. So I thought, oh, maybe the by anonymous kind of works. But Eugene did get 3,000 likes from this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Okay. What's the next one you got?
The next one I got is the love interest's personality outside of old man lying to teen about who he is to kidnap her and get in her pants is non-existent. I couldn't tell you much more about that man. He's hot, I guess.
Old man lying to teen to kidnap her?
Yeah.
Is this Akatar?
No.
He's like, Tamlin kind of does lie to Feyre to kidnap her.
It's not. It's a worse inheritor of, Sarah J. Maas's crown.
Is this from Blood and Ash?
Yes, this is from Blood and Ash.
No, but see, because it was like, oh, Tamlin does kind of like him.
Yeah, no, I mean, Feyre is also, like, barely a teen, but, like, this is more egregious in the, like, teen because she's, like, she's a working girl. She's, like, a full adult who, like, does things.
Yeah.
Whereas Poppy is just, like, she's too stupid to live, so it feels worse to take advantage of her.
How old was Poppy? I forgot. 17?
Wasn't it? She was about to be, like, yeah, I think, because it was like, oh, the Ascension is on, like, her birthday or whatever. But I don't remember if it was on her 19th birthday or her 18th birthday. Yeah. But she behaved like a 13-year-old, so none of it mattered.
At first I was like, old man. I was, like, thinking of, like, a sleazy old man. But then I realized, no.
Not quite.
Castile right there.
The fact that his name is Castile is still like, listen, I was in the trenches. You can't name a character this. You can't do it.
Oh. Man, happens. But I was thinking, I was like, is this some sort of way for you to cope with something? Was this a Castiel X reader fanfic that they just rewrote?
Holy shit, can you imagine?
I don't think it is the case, though. Because
I'm thinking, no, I can't obviously find, like, the Winchester equivalent in the writings, so I'm like, I feel like then that's probably not a supernatural fanfic.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Never mind. It was just an unfortunate choice. Of character. Unrelated to the hit CW show Supernatural, which was bad for the majority of its runtime.
Hey, I thought the first 5 seasons were nice.
Yeah, but they are 15, so if 10 seasons are bad, this is the majority of its runtime.
You are correct. Okay. My next one. I don't know if you're gonna get this. Because when I read the book, I didn't see it like this at all. So when I saw this review, I was like, what? So, Somer Potter, I don't know, wrote, what in the gay fanfiction is this? Please stop ruining my childhood. Mm-hmm.
Is this, Carry On?
No.
No, I think that's too obviously, like, inspired by, like, it's, like, fanfic adjacent, so I feel like you wouldn't be surprised by reading that review for it.
Yeah.
What in the gay fanfic is that?
I was gagged bamboozled.
I'm trying to think of, like, a gay book right now, and I'm drawing a blank where I'm just like, how, like, one that would be fanfic. Okay, you gotta reveal this to me. I don't think I'm getting this.
It's a review on Lost Boy.
What the fuck? That's so funny.
Because I'm like, listen, I'm the first person to ship anything. The first person to ship. How do you read Lost Boy?
I mean, I can kind of see it because there is like an insane codependence there that you could read with like romantic aspects to it. But it's also like, it's just, Peter is too weird.
Right?
He's too obviously inhuman to like, for me to immediately be like, oh, there's romantic tension there. I'm like, no, he's just a fucking freak. Like, no one's telling you have to watch, Peter Pan and imagine in the back of your mind that he and Captain Hook fucked like when they were teenagers. Like you don't have to imagine, like it's a different take on the story. No one's forcing you.
So when I saw that, I was like, what?
What an incredible take, honestly.
I know. I thought maybe through the "Don't Ruin My Childhood" one that could be guessable.
I could get, but I would not have gotten to, because I don't like when I read Lost Boy. I'm like, sure, there could be a homosexual explanation for this, and I love those kinds, but that's not at all what I'm focusing on when I'm reading this.
Right?
Isn't like sorry, but wouldn't Peter Pan is like a child murdering like immortal being way more ruinous to your childhood experience of a whimsical Disney movie than like gay Captain Hook? Like I don't know.
I guess that depends on where you're at in life.
I guess, man. I guess.
Getting your priorities straight. It's like the
Getting
same
your
people.
Priorities gay, you mean?
It's like the same people being more upset about Hannibal, the character, being kind of really gay in the TV
being
show.
Fruity, yeah.
Than opposed to him being like a murderer. So,
I can excuse murder, but I draw the line at bisexuality.
I draw a line at like European kind of style homosexuality. The man in a pretty suit, no. Sorry.
It's like he's too fruity. It's illegal. You can't do.
A metrosexual man, not allowed.
God.
Okay,
so
sorry. I feel like I picked bad ones because they're too obscure so far.
No, I feel like I made it easy for me. The next one, I have like two different ones. I don't know if you're gonna get the first one, but the second one was too funny to leave out. So the first one is mythical critters info dumping things about their world that they already know.
Mythical critters. Okay, and what's the second one?
The second one will make it obvious.
Okay, no,
so
then
if you want to guess, then
give me some mythical critters. Mythical critters. I have I read this or do I just know about it?
No, you have read this. I've only taken books that were in your like Goodreads book list, so I
read it.
Yes.
Okay, no, give me the second
you
one.
Want the second?
Yeah.
Second one. The second one was just funny from like the writing side. I was like, so it's depressing. He gets in trouble every corner, and worse, the character's name is Twig. I feel bad for him.
No, my blood. Oh, with mythical, because I was like, what kind of, like, there are no critters in, like, Song of Achilles.
Yeah. You were on the wrong mythical.
I was on the wrong mythical. For a second, it was like, it was like, are they calling Cersei a critter?
A critter. But no, the second one really just got me with the phrasing. It's depressing. He gets in trouble every corner, and worse, the character's name is Twig. I feel bad for him.
And the thing is, that's what it's about. Twig is like being cursed with bad luck. That's essentially what the first one is about.
It's really fun. These reviews were so fucking funny.
Okay, that was a good one. The next one is one of my favorite movies. Couldn't even finish the book. I don't care. The math on how to grow potatoes for 3 pages.
Ah, that's The Martian.
Yeah. To be fair, I enjoyed the reviews on The Martian were insane. There were so many that were like, I don't even like science fiction. I'm like, why are you here?
What are you doing? That reminds me. I was trying to find funny bad reviews of Howl's Moving Castle, but all the bad reviews were either people being like, it was just kind of boring, I didn't like it, and a bunch of people who were like, well, the movie is obviously so much better. than the book. And I was just like, okay, these are just entirely different stories. Like,
yeah,
no one's arguing this, but I also feel like this is very strange to, like...
I guess if you go into Howl's Moving Castle and you expect it to be exactly like the movie, you're gonna be bamboozled and be like, no, I like the movie more.
I also totally get that, like, the kind of fairy tale whimsical magic where a lot of things don't get explained but just implied and you have to just live with that. A lot of people did not like that aspect, where I'm like, okay, I guess it's fine, like, taste-wise, but I also feel like giving a book a bad rating just because it's not your taste. I understand people do this, but I disagree with it.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to balance whether if I like what's happening in a book with what I think, like, genuinely the craft level is on, like, a writing level. But, like, I know not everyone does that. I know a lot of people, like, give bad reviews to things that, like, upset them or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, I disagree with that, but, you know, it's just... everyone can rate however they want to, no matter how much I dislike that.
Like, if I would see a Goodreads account of somebody just badly rating, for example, period romance books, saying they don't like period romance, I'd be like, why are you even here? But I guess if you try a new genre and you're like, I just really didn't vibe with this, then it's fine.
It's very funny to me. And a lot of fantasy books, there were people who were like, well, I don't really like fantasy and I didn't like this. And I'm like, well, that's crazy, man. I wonder what could have warned you that this might not be your cup of tea. We'll never know. We'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next one is a one-liner.
Ooh.
That was arguably less sexy than Twilight.
I'm just like, okay, is this a Blood and Ash review?
No.
That's really funny. Because I was like, okay,
you're
vampires.
Thinking in the right direction.
Is this like a ACOTAR review?
No. Vampires.
Okay, we're doing vampires. What other vampire books are there? Fuck. Suddenly I can't remember a single vampire novel I've ever read in my life. I love you trying to do pantomime for me, but I'm just like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Like, I'm trying to do, like, basic algebra, and I'm, like, staring off to the distance. Vampires.
It's a classic.
What?
It's a classic.
It's a classic?
Yeah.
Is this, like, Carmilla? Is this, like, Dracula? No, for real? That's so funny. What a funny thing to say about this novel.
I was like
what a funny point to rate it on. I'm like,
I didn't read Dracula, right? Sue me. So I'm going through these reviews, and I'm also read through the good ones, because I was like, I want to know. And a lot of people were talking about the pros, about this, about that, and then I hadn't even sorted by 1 star yet.
Yeah, you just saw this one out in the wild. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
I was like, damn, Lucy, what the fuck?
I mean, honestly, not a bad choice. It's a classic. I mean, I also haven't read it, but, like, I've seen, like, excerpts from it, and I was like, sounds kind of interesting, but also, like, I have enough things to read.
The pantomime was from the movie, you know? There's, like, the scene with the shadow in his hand.
Oh, but that just mostly reminds me of Nosferatu, which is an older movie than Dracula, because it's, like, the same thing. Mostly, I thought you were doing, like, a werewolf. I thought you were doing, like, puppy.
Okay. Let's continue.
Okay, it's my turn now. Okay. Imagine you're watching Zootopia. In the background, someone is playing Bright on Netflix, obnoxiously loud. And then, almost insidiously lurking in the corner, comes, of all things, the Winx Club theme song.
This is the first Crescent City book.
Yes.
The Zootopia one, I was like, wait, that's already...
But, like, I love the ending where it's like, and now comes, out of all things, the Winx Club theme song. With a steel chair. There's wings with a steel chair.
Yeah, Crescent City. The Crescent City reviews, I feel like, are a treasure trove of good screenshots.
There is quite a bit of funny stuff in there, yeah.
Those were the ones where you're like, oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I was like, this is too funny. This is such a strong descriptor without directly mentioning what happens in the story. This is
you know so for each of the Crescent City books, I mean, for each of major book releases, I always see these memes right after the books come out, which is like XYZ book without context, and then it's just memes.
Yeah.
The ones for the Crescent City books were the most unhinged I've seen so far.
Yeah, because the books are unhinged.
Because you're like, how does this even tie together, right?
Like, I remember. For the last one, there's just a meme where someone, and this is a black hole.
That was the Baymax one.
True. That's not even out of context. That's exactly what happens.
And I remember for the first one, there was like a picture of a vacuum cleaner. I was like, how does this even tie in here? And then, I mean, she does hoover him up. So it's like, when I read the book, I was like, damn, they weren't lying.
So funny. The memes weren't lying. This does happen.
Okay, in my next review, I have honestly no idea if you can guess this. Okay. I am clueless.
You're making me play on hard mode. I respect
I'm making you play so hard on hard mode. And I think you might be angry with me when I tell you what book it is. The review says, I stopped when someone's cheekbones were described as sharp enough to grate cheese.
I mean, that is an incredible descriptor. I will say that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, when you think I'll be angry, this is probably something I like. Is this an Invisible Library quote?
It is.
Yeah.
It's the first.
I was like, this does sound familiar. Because it is a very funny description.
Because I went through them and I was like, oh, how funny would it be if I had Invisible Library on here? And I went through them and all of them were like bad, like one-star reviews where I was like, okay, I don't get it. But this one I was like, is this still happening or did I forget that somebody had cheekbones sharp enough to grate cheese?
No, it does happen, but it's like humorous, you know, like Irene has a very like ironic internal voice where a lot of the descriptions are not like serious. So this is not meant in a sexy way. It's just like in a funny, like, but like, yes, no, I was like, okay, yeah, this is, this does feel familiar.
Okay. Good, you're not mad at me. I'm happy.
No, I think it's a funny quote to follow, but I'm also like fascinated by people being like, I don't get it, because I feel like the premise is so straightforward that I'm like, how like I totally get being like, it's not my cup of tea, but I don't feel like it's complex, so I'm just like, what do you mean you don't get it? It's not it's not complex as a premise. It's not. What do you mean? This is why I say so many one-star reviews are written by the stupidest people alive, because I'm like, what do you mean you didn't get it? It's obvious. Like, some things are not difficult.
I feel like sometimes it's a difference between like not intellectually getting it and not emotionally getting it. Like sometimes you're like, I can see how this could be interesting, but I'm just not getting it. Yeah. But you see the difference when people write a review, whether this was a disconnect
have these people who'll be like, what even was going on? And you feel insane because you read the book and you were like, no, it was very clear what was going on because the plot was not complex or strange. What the fuck are you talking about? This is not an avant-garde novel. But yeah, no, it's I respect it. We all have our pet peeves, and some people can't deal with the cheese grater cheekbones, and that's okay.
All right, hit me with it.
One, again, where I have two from different people, where I'm like, okay, the first one's mostly funny, and the second one gives more context, where I think you could probably, like, guess it then.
Yeah.
Okay, so, woke, trash, try too hard, weird, didn't like it, and all men don't hate all women. Good grief. Also, too hard, it's a 2 with only one O, so they didn't spell it correctly.
Wait. Can you read the second half again?
and all men don't hate all women. Good grief.
I have read this book. Right.
Yes.
Is this Good Girls Don't Die?
It is! Yeah! It was so fun. Like, a good number of reviews on this are legitimately people who are clearly conservatives who are mad at the theme. And the other half of 1-star reviews are people who are like, listen, I'm a feminist, but this was bad. Like, the writing was bad. I can't believe this is the same author as, like, either of Alice or of Lost Boy or of Near the Bone, I think, were most of the comparison novels. They were like, I can't believe this was written by the same person. It reads so much worse. And I felt so affirmed, because this was also our takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, same.
Same, yeah, I can't believe this is from the same person. But yeah,
I agree.
It was just so funny where so many people were like, woke people, and of course, a rich, straight, white man is the enemy.
I mean, again, I was thinking, I lost the plot too. Right? I thought, there's more to this.
Yeah. But there was not. There was less to this, in fact. But, like, legit, that book... No, the 1-star reviews really were torn between, I can't believe this was so bad, her other stuff is so much better, and the woke agenda is coming to kill your kids. I don't know, like... What
was the second review you had picked out?
The second review was, if this had ended with part 1, it would be a 5-star short story.
Yeah. I mean, same. Part 1 was really good.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a longer one.
Ooh, okay.
Character know-it-all swoops in and saves the day, without forgetting to point out how they are smarter than everyone, and I'm really not motivated to read the next one, but I probably will at some point to see if things get better. I've heard they do, but I didn't finish the book with the need to get to the next one. Also, they keep calling their so-called friend a good girl when she follows their orders. It was a cringy book. Early in their career, maybe. We'll see if we get book 2 in, and then there's a year.
Have I read this?
You have.
Wait, I've read...
For some more context, I haven't. You read this. I haven't.
Now I'm even more bamboozled. I'm just like, I'm trying to think of a book where somebody calls their friend a good girl, and I'm just like, what?
Their so-called friend. And I did, like, ungender the review.
Oh, okay.
You want the gender of the character?
Yeah, sure.
It's a man.
Okay.
He calls his so-called friend a good girl when she follows his orders.
Did I rate this highly? Is this a book I like?
I think you like this series? Or you used to, at least, at some point. That I know.
Now I'm even more bamboozled. Now I'm like, what
maybe
is
another context. A lot of people from the 1-star reviews compared this to the Dresden Files.
Is this Alex Veras? I legit forgot about this. I have a complex relationship with the series where I'm like, the first few books are perfectly fine. Like my favorite book is, I think, is it the 5th or the 6th or something? Like, but like the books do get progressively worse after a certain point, and I didn't even finish it because I was so mad about where the plot was going. I was just like, no, I hate this. I can't do it anymore. And like it's like it is like perfectly okay, like urban fantasy, and it is also, I will say this in its defense, way more respectful of women simply by the fact that the author is not crazy horny while writing it. Like, you get the impression that the author is just like, sex? I don't care about it. And like, the descriptions of, there is a funny disconnect because descriptions of women are often like kind of vague and perfunctory. But then descriptions of like other men are way more detailed and like he was so attractive with his well-groomed eyebrows or whatever. Like, and you're just like, interesting.
Very strange. Because, there was a question I was about to ask. A lot of the 1-star reviews for this, it's like the first one. I don't remember. Unfated or something.
Fated,
Fated.
Unfated would be really funny.
A lot of them were like, oh, this is such a ripoff and it's so misogynistic. And did I read the first one? Did I get stuck in an artifact at some point?
Yeah.
Then I did read it.
You read the first one, and you met the character that I like the most, and you were like, yeah, of course, this is what you want to do. Because
it was like
I am predictable.
The villain dude, the snazzy villain dude. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He was the most interesting. To be honest.
He was a fun little guy. I was like, oh, I love this guy. I love a well-dressed villain who's chill.
Yeah. But I did not like when I read through the reviews. I was like, honestly, I don't remember any of this. What the fuck?
The part is that, like, there are parts of it where you're really like, okay, I think the author thinks, like, vaguely that he's, like, pro-feminism or whatever. It doesn't feel like somebody who hates women, but it also feels like someone who has never examined their biases at all. Yeah. So a lot of stuff still comes through, but comparative to other urban fantasy, I'm like, this is way less misogynistic just because Benedict Jack is not obsessed with women's breasts and doesn't describe them in detail all the time.
Yeah.
Like, quite frankly, later on, I feel like it does get more misogynist from certain plot angles. But the first few books, I'm like, okay, this is a lot less, like, men writing women than a lot of other fantasy I've read from men of this ilk. So I'm like, I wouldn't sign this as, like, crazy misogynist.
Okay.
I would sign it as, like, just, like, the kind of misogynist you get from a man who's just not particularly into politics and who's just, like, sometimes says things he has never really thought about, and you're like, not ideal, but also doesn't necessarily say, like, it's not a red flag. You're just like, he should probably do some thinking.
Yeah,
but
some re-examining of
the heart's in the right place. It's again, like, just by not being crazy horny, this wins and being less misogynist than a lot of other urban fantasy.
That works out for him,
which is crazy. That this is like a point, like, you can win on just by simply, like, not being super invested.
The bar is so low. Okay, hit me with it.
I'm gonna hit you. This is an anti-freedom and anti-choice, anti-abortion manifesto. Also, another one that I thought was amazing was amazing, brilliant, show-stopping. 4 words that do not describe this train wreck at all.
Wait, so the only one that's like anti-abortion. What? I
also have another point I can read to you.
Wait. It's the Silver Flames.
You want to hear the third one I have?
Yeah.
How is it possible for an author's writing to get worse? 3 question marks. Holy shit, her last 2 books have read like really poorly written smut novels, and it's getting pathetic at this point, not gonna lie.
I was like, at first I was like anti-abortion. I was like, but in Twilight, they do suggest
they're pro-abortion. Like, yeah, I love.
But then I was like, wait, but I didn't read Twilight. So like,
you didn't even read the vampire classic of our times. Unbelievable.
No.
Well, you also didn't read Dracula, so I guess that even,
At the same level.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is, a vampire classic written by a man, and one of them is a vampire classic written by a woman, which is, it's all balanced.
Okay. Okay. This one I think you'll immediately guess.
Yeah, okay.
Teenage gangbang interrupted by trans-dimensional metamorphic coulrophobia-inducing arachni.
What? I love that you're gonna guess this immediately, and I'm just like, what?
Want me to repeat it again?
No, I understood what you said. I'm just like...
We have...
Have I read this?
I thought you did.
Or do I just know of it?
You definitely know of it, but I also thought you read it. You'd have definitely read books of this author.
Yeah, but when I think teenage gaming, the first thing that comes to mind for me is It, but I have not read that.
Oh, okay.
But I know of this scene, so I was like, is this it? Or am I like missing like a crazy book here?
I thought you did read it. I'm so sorry.
No, I haven't yet, but like, the scene is infamous. That is,
I'm still bamboozled that the first time I read this book, I completely blanked out on this scene. And then when people were like, this happens, I'm like, no, my version must not have this scene. Because I don't remember
it does, but my brain just doesn't.
And then I went back to the book and I was like, oh no, it does exist. I don't know how
it does have it. Fuck.
I think I just trauma excluded that from my brain.
I mean, fair.
Okay.
I also have one that I think you would probably guess. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's like translating meows into English. Can't we just pretend they teach English? As an adult, I just couldn't grasp the concept.
Meows. Oh, wait. Is this Warrior Cats?
It is Warrior Cats! Which, the Warrior Cats 1-star reviews are a crazy place.
Because I didn't even think to go there, honestly.
It's full of adult women, mostly, who are like, I don't understand this. The cats have religion? They have a society? But real cats don't do this.
Oh my god.
What is this? And it's just like, well, yes, it's not real, because it's a kid's book where they can pretend to be cats who live in a cat society who are, kitty cats.
It's like, do you want to read a book about the one cat that turns into a warrior when it runs away from home because it wants to see what's beyond the garden wall? Or do you want to read a book about the neighbor cat that gets, and spayed?
There were also, like, legitimately several people who were like, well, when I read this, I could only think of how sad the family must be that the cat has run away and the child who misses this cat. And I'm just like, okay, yes, but this is like wish fulfillment for children who are like, I want to be a cool cat who fights other cats and becomes a cat clan leader. Like, this is, I'm just like, this is not a difficult, like, I understand that you can read this and go like, damn, I just thought of how, like, all these cats are gonna die soon because they're, like, wild cats or whatever, and their life expectancy is pretty low. But, like, on the other hand, I'm just like, it's obviously fantasy. Like, this is just, like, cats. So many people were like,
it
talking
says
cats? It was too much for me, and I'm just like, girl, it's a book about talking cats. Like, it's pretty obvious what this is gonna be.
It says warrior cats. It's not called cozy cats.
The funniest bit was also where people were like, it's a little too mystical for me. And that's like, yeah, because it's not about real cats. It's about, like, cats who have, like, a magic, like, they get 9 real lives. Like, they can legitimately die 9 times if they get blessed by, like, their magic star cats or whatever that was. Like, come on. It's obviously not about real cats and real cat behaviors, but people were pissed about it. People were really weird.
Like, I think that if you pick up a book that's below your age group and not just, oh, you're an adult and you read YA, but, like, if you go even further down, like,
if you genuinely read children's books,
right? Yeah. You gotta turn on your fantasy brain. You can stay in realism land.
The crazy part was also a lot of people were like, well, the writing is not very good. The sentences are short and choppy. And I felt like the world building was not extensive. And I'm just like, this is for 8-year-olds who want to pretend to be cats. I'm sorry, this isn't meeting your adult sensibilities. Like, come on. This is why your kids don't talk to you about the books they like, because you're like, but this isn't possible. Like, yeah, obviously not. It's a story.
Like, you must not have been fun playing pretend at the playground, just gonna say.
Yeah, it does. That's why I can't be reading too many bad reviews. I go crazy. I'm just like, you are too stupid. I don't, like...
Imagine, like...
What is it?
Like an adult version of Warrior Cats, but because it's like a YA new adult version, it's not cats, it's like pumas and tigers and shit, and they have like ratchet tiger sex, and like it's basically like Crescent City, but
I think cats. What you're describing is just furry porn. Like,
I guess that's what they want.
I mean, yeah, if they're furries, yeah, like that, like that's a target group for this. Like, yeah.
I don't have an original thought. I see this has already happened somewhere in the internet.
Of course this has happened. Are you kidding me? I mean, so many people have, like, tiger or, like, lion personas. Do you know how many people got, like, their furry awakening by watching The Lion King, and that's why Lion King art is, like, everywhere?
I did not know that. I mean, I can totally understand.
Yeah,
I'm from a different age group. You know, I think a lot of people had their sexual furry awakening watching Zootopia.
No, but, like, people our age, they saw, like, Scar as a kid and were like, oh, that gay lion is, like, extremely fucking sexy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really
but
funny.
But wouldn't you think Simba, like adult Simba?
I mean, also, but like, you know, people love a good villain, and and queer kids love a good queer villain, and Jeremy Irons does like crazy good voice acting.
He does.
So it's like, it's not surprising that people like the gay evil lion. Like,
okay.
I am not surprised, but it's.
I mean, people be looking at the fish from Finding Nemo. You know, the
that's
starfish.
true. Like the
sexy
and
fish.
They're like, I would let him hit, and I'm just like, that's a fucking fish, man. What are you talking about? Maybe this is also just tainted by the fact that I don't like the movie. So.
You don't like Finding Nemo?
No, I found it extremely annoying. I was like, I think they should kill Nemo. I hate him. I was not invested in Nemo's survival.
Gotta cancel my friendship.
I was a little hater.
No, it's like I think that fish is on any you're right.
Hear me out list.
You're not on TikTok. There's like weeks ago there was like the Hear Me Out cake trend.
Yeah, but also I know what a hear me out is. It's not a new concept. Like
but they would put like the fish on any Hear Me Out cake. Like you would scroll and you'd be like, this is old news.
Of course,
we all know. You okay.
Do something more creative. I also assume like that the dragon from Shrek was on Hear Me Out cake.
On some, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, of course the sexy dragon lady is on there. Like, of course.
On some.
They gave her lipstick and long lashes. Of course she's on there.
My one of my favorite videos was like the cake was already full. It was like I think 5 people who put stuff on there, and then one person, the last thing they put on there, you couldn't really see what it is. It was like a photograph, and then they all start to giggle, and then one of the girls is like, "That's my dad." I was like,
"That's incredible."
Okay, well, coming to the next book. This is purely based on vibes. I do not hold it against you if you do not get this. 1-star review. This was terrible. I need more.
This could be anything. This could be literally anything. Are we still romantasy? Is this also in the bad?
No, this is not romantasy.
Oh. Is this Bridgerton?
No, you have read this.
No. Oh, okay. I have not read Bridgerton, so for a second I thought you were implying that I had read Bridgerton, you were saying, you have read this.
No, you have read this.
I have read this.
Yeah. It was the I need more that made me think, oh, maybe...
Is this Throne of Glass? Oh, no, we're not doing romantasy. Is this like a Cassandra Clare book?
No.
Is this a book I like?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is a series, I presume, when they're like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
Huh. Is this vicious?
No.
That would be so funny.
No, it's not. You want me to release you?
Yeah, you just tell me.
It's a foxhole court.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It was just a lot
That's
of them
really
were a bit too revealing to pick.
Yeah,
but this one I was like,
I
the
imagine.
if you guess the vibes correctly, then you'll be able to guess the book.
No, that is funny. Okay. My book. Okay, the first one is not gonna tell you much, but the vibes were impeccable. And the second one is like, I also don't know how good this will get across where this is, but okay, first one. This book is for you if you are a grandpa.
That's it?
Yeah, that was a full 1-star review.
If you are a grandpa.
Yeah.
Not a grandma. That says something. Right? No,
Wait.
like what a grandpa would read is like totally different to what a grandma would read.
So true.
Okay, I need the second read.
The second one is, was expecting some grand adventure, but whatever grand adventure this was, felt like a mindless journey throughout the countryside rather than actual fantasy.
Is this Realm Breaker?
No! It's old, that's why it's for grandpas.
Lord of the Rings?
Almost, it's The Hobbit.
It do be a journey through the countryside, that's true.
I just love this book is for you if you're a grandpa.
No, because at first it was like, is this cozy fantasy? But then it would say grandma, so probably, you know.
I love that you went to Realm Breaker.
Because people say that it's like boring and a journey. Oh. Ay. Oh, okay. The next one, okay, a little bit of a prelude for that one. You have not read this, but
you're making this hard for me, taking books that I haven't even read.
But this review reflects my thoughts.
Ooh. Okay.
So I think I have complained about this enough that
I will recognize it. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I read this book, and despite the fact that I have heard of darkness and am full of hate and vitriol and eat romance novels for breakfast, I enjoyed it. And then I read everything else that this author has ever written, and I hated all of it. And when it came time to revisit, well, welcome to Judgment Day. I hated this one too. Your face.
Is this a Allie Hazelwood book?
Yeah.
Is this the original, like,
the Love Hypothesis?
Yeah.
Another review was Raylos don't deserve like rights or something. But that one was too obvious.
That one was no.
But I felt the way that Emma wrote this review, by the way. I felt her. I was like, yeah. Same.
Okay. You ready? Is your body ready for the next one?
I am.
I'm having a hard time coming up with words to describe how utterly insane this book drove me. Really? You need magic power to use an ink pen?
Is this Lidlar?
No.
Magic power to use an ink pen? What?
There's also another one where they had a whole list, but I only had the first one. Yeah. They were like, this book is not for you if you do not like 1. Frail, small, short heroine who's obsessed with a huge, big, broad male lead and who just can't shut up about it. It is Fourth Wing.
What magic pen does she have? I'm trying to think about.
Apparently, I haven't read it, but several reviews mention that you need to be bonded to a dragon to be able to use pens, apparently, in the universe. which is crazy to me. But no, it repeated in several things where I was like, oh.
You can definitely use a pen. I guess maybe like some special pen. I don't remember that.
No, they mentioned that like she has to write with a quill, and she's like, I'm excited to bond to a dragon because then I can use a nice pen who's like more convenient.
I guess that's something I just didn't care about when reading the book.
I mean, yeah, because it is a crazy thing to write.
I was also looking for Fourth Wing reviews, and I was like, this is dumb because you didn't read Fourth Wing, so I would have to pick something that is insanely obvious. But I saw so many that were about Xaden wearing skinny jeans.
Yes, I also saw that one. I was like, yeah.
This is kind of funny. We're at the end of my list, actually.
Oh, okay. I still have 2, I think. So
I mean, I still have some other ones as well.
No, wait, I have 3, but one is very short. One is where I think, okay, this is like immediately obvious, I feel like. Maybe.
I did have some others that weren't as funny. But okay, let me. Well, this one was For Good Girls Don't Die. So we can't pick that anymore. This one you won't be able to guess.
Tragic.
I didn't read Mickey 7. In hindsight, that was more fun for me. I have another one that was for the love hypothesis. It was, he had her whole boob in his mouth. I'm scared. Okay, so hit me with the rest of yours.
Okay. First, this one is long, and I think it will be super obvious to you, probably. Okay. I haven't read it, but you have read it.
Yeah.
If you've ever wanted to read a sciencey, quirky romance filled with Tumblr-esque pop culture references and toddler-age memes about a huge, serious, no-nonsense man who manages to have gleaming abs and Marvel-esque biceps despite being a nerd, as he meets a goofy, not like other girls, woman in STEM, who doesn't need a man, only science, bad internal dialogue, and her own personality, plus a sex scene or two that will include at least one turn of phrase cursed to sear into your retinas for the rest of time, you should read this book.
Is this the second Ellie Hazelwood one? Is this the one with the NASA guy?
This is Love Theoretically, yes.
Yeah. Wait, Love Theoretically was the third one, right?
Is that the third? I don't know the
Love Theoretically. Yeah, that's the third one. Because the second one is Love on the Brain. Love Theoretically was the one where it's apparently such a big problem that she has diabetes. Where she's desperately trying to hide the fact that she's diabetic. And it's like...
Why?
I don't know.
Is she worried about the insulin costs putting him off a relationship? What?
That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if the culture around diabetes is different in the US, but here in Germany it's like, okay, you're diabetic, I guess. Okay, you know how to handle it. You've been living with it for a while.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like one of those. You remember those photo comics in like teen magazines?
Like the photo story.
I viscerally remember one I saw while I was at summer camp and someone had like their magazine with them where it was like a girl saw the boy she had a crush on inject something and she was so worried he was on drugs, but it was, insulin because he was diabetic. Yeah. And like, I can never forget this. This is like this, it's seared into my brain so every time, like, this feels like that, but that was aimed at like 10-year-olds. So
like, there's a scene in this book. Okay, there's a scene in this book. They are at a scientist dinner. He is there as well. They don't like each other, and she's desperately trying to get a position as like a professor. And she's like talking to one of the people, and she's like, "Oh, I hate him so much. Like, he doesn't want me to get the position." And then she goes to the toilet. And like, did she go to the male toilet? Because it was, I don't know, for some reason he also later goes into it, and because of her like sugar thing, she kind of faints in his arms, and it's like this big thing, and instead of just telling and being like, oh bro, I'm diabetic, like, sorry, she's so embarrassed by it and she never talks about it. I'm like, girl, that's okay.
How is that? What? I don't feel like this is how someone with diabetes would behave. Like, someone who's always dealt with the condition would just be like, yeah, I'm diabetic.
Right? But okay, let's not spend... That was like my last straw in terms of Ali Hazelwood STEM books, because I was like, you're grasping for straws.
And then you read Bride and you were like, nah, it's a no for Ali Hazelwood fantasy books as well.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the next, like, super short. This one, there is more chemistry between me and jumping off a bridge than between the MC and the male lead.
It's a bridge kingdom.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a bridge.
Because of I was just like, yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
And the last one is so fun. This was ridiculous. I much prefer the SJM take on fairies. LOL.
Folk of the Air.
Yeah, this was a cruel prince. The statement is so crazy to me. I much prefer Sarah J. Maas's take on fairies. What? Are you fucking crazy?
If the person had written on fae, I'd be like, okay. But fairies, specifically, writing the word fairies makes me go, huh?
But these were the last ones.
Well, I think we actually did well.
Yeah, we did pretty okay on guessing, I think.
Except for me forgetting that you didn't read books that I had.
Yeah, you made me play on hard mode. But it's okay.
Yeah. I thought
my extremely huge brain still saved me from blunders.
Still managed to make it.
I fucked up all the books I had read because I was like, what? But I did get the other ones right.
I have to say, I actually really enjoyed reading the reviews, because bad reviews are so interesting to see how, like, especially reading bad reviews for books you like, it's super interesting to see how other people perceive these books, and what, like, the other general populace thinks of, your own little Blorbo Fest. So certainly always a fun experience. It's like going to like, I don't know, MAGA spaces on the internet and seeing what the people are thinking about. It's like, oh, let's look what the enemy is talking.
I mean, I do, to some degree it can be funny, but I feel I mostly get mad because so many of these bad reviews are written by people where I'm, again, like, do you have any reading comprehension? Like, these are people where I'm just like, when people talk about them on other social media and they're like, oh, and people are saying this and this, I'm always like, literally no one is saying this. That's too stupid. No one is saying this. And then I go on Goodreads and I read reviews and I'm like, oh no, people are saying this. Because people are fucking stupid.
Yeah. You just get easily riled up too.
Yeah, no, I hate when people say incorrect things, so this is very upsetting to me. When people say blatantly incorrect things about the book they just read because they just can't read, is my question here.
Question mark?
It's just not. I love a good bad review, but if I look at bad reviews of books I like, or even books I'm like ambivalent about, I often get mad because I'm just like, you people don't even understand what the book is saying. Shut up.
Well, if there's any funny, no, but maybe if you have any funny bad, like, 1-star reviews and they're short, feel free to link them. I think you can link Goodread reviews, like you can copy a link for it.
I think you can, but I don't know how YouTube deals with links and comments because it's not very fond of those. So I don't know if your comment will just get deleted, because that sometimes happens. Sometimes it's like, it shows you, oh, you've got a comment, and it shows you the first bits of the comment in, like, the activity tab, but once you go to comments, it's not there. It's not even held for review. It just disappeared, and you're just like, what happened, man?
Then don't do that. We do want to see your comments.
But if you played along at home and like made your guesses before we did, I want to see how many you got right.
Yeah. That is a good idea. Well, a bit of a shorter one.
Yeah. Well, they can't all be 5-hour treatises on like a book we didn't like, you know.
Or in the case of Vicious, a book we did like. It just couldn't
True,
stop
but that also wasn't that long.
It.
I think our longest are on books where we're like, man.
It's on the books I made the slideshows on, because that just takes some more time to go through.
That is true. That is the longest ones. You are such a hero.
It is a whole ass final season of Game of Thrones. You know, it takes some time to get through.
It is like, oh my god. Oh.
All right. With that being said, thank you so much for listening and for playing along. If you want another instance of this, also leave your opinions down below. And we had fun with this one.
We did.
So, bye-bye.
Goodbye.